Last week, I was very direct and I said, I'm going to hold them accountable. I'm going to have expectations and I'm going to expect them to do the things that they told me that I should expect them to do. And you know what? They showed up. They showed up and they did some different things. I will be honest though and say that I am recording this video before the game ends because I did not like how the end of the game was going and I did not like how they were managing the clock. All the passing at the end of the game, we've already run the game. I don't understand that. I will never understand that. I think that's terrible, but I'm not even going to get into that. I'm just going to celebrate the win and I'm going to be grateful for the fact that they made some adjustments. They had somebody at running back that looked like a running back, that looked like they wanted him to actually run the ball. So this game is the type of game I'm looking for. I'm looking for progress. I'm looking for progress, not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for progress. I'm looking for you to show me that you know what you're doing, that you want to win these games. And you know what? This game, it looked like it. I saw some adjustments. I saw some really good things. So I am going to talk about the good things that I saw because I'm very proud of this Colorado Buffaloes football team for winning this football game. I said a little bit at the front that I am excited that they did some things that they didn't do last week. They made some adjustments. They looked at that offensive line. They reevaluated. Putting Tyler Brown at left guard seemed to work. Phillip Houston in the game. Like everything they did seemed to work like it was supposed to work. And I am excited that they made the changes that they needed to make. I think they only gave up like one sack or whatever, but they looked like a better offensive line. Yes, there are some things I didn't love and whatever, but overall, I really liked this game because I felt like it was as close to a complete game as we've seen in regards to the play calling. And like I always say, if the defense doesn't know if you're going to run or pass, it's going to be harder for them to play defense against you. So good on Colorado for making some changes. The other thing I want to say before I get into the things that I love, it's always funny to me how people are like, oh, we just blocked out the noise. We just blocked out the noise. We blocked out the noise. Did you really block out the noise? If you knew there was noise, did you block it out? Like, I've never understood why people act like they didn't see or didn't read anything. You read things. You saw things. Keep it real. Like, let's stop acting like you didn't see them. But anyways, let's just get into the things that I loved. So the things that I loved, four turnovers. I couldn't even get it out because I was so excited. Colorado being able to create turnovers on defense is great, especially with Shiloh out, because that was one thing Shiloh did for this defense. So him not being there, they were able to get turnovers and they looked good. Did they? I think sometimes the thing I always say of the reason why I don't always love stats is because sometimes I think stats can't dictate how fast you look, how great it was to see you get to the ball, how it looked like everybody was singing the same accord. And I thought the defense looked good. Now, did they give up some big plays? Yeah. Did they do some things that I don't want to see? Yeah. But I think collectively, going from what we had last year to now where we're at now, it just looked better. It looked like they were in tuned. It looked like they were locked in, and it looked like they were actively trying to make plays. And I loved it. 4 turnovers. You can't dispute how great four turnovers is. Also, Travis Hunter is phenomenal. Travis Hunter is absolutely, positively, probably the best athlete that we are watching play college football right now. And there's probably somebody I'm forgetting, and you can debate with me all you want, but I'm standing firm on it that I think Travis Hunter is one of the most talented athletes we are seeing play football right now in college football. The other thing I loved, I said at the top, the changes at the offensive line, they looked good. It looked like they knew what they were doing. So I loved that. Also, I have to go with running the ball. I have to go with trying to get the run established. It just helps. That is football. You can't play football without running the ball, or without the team thinking you're going to run the ball. I don't know how many carries they're going to end up with because I'm recording this before the game is over because there were some things going on I don't even want to talk about. But I do know that they came out and they established the run. And once you saw Micah Welch get that big gain, you saw Colorado State's defense start reacting differently because they were like, oh no, this guy might run the ball. They actually might do this. So again, I'm not acting like I say anything like extra extravagant and anything that's like an extreme detail. It's just the basic fundamentals of football. You have to do the little things to win football games. And so they did those things. They did the little things. They won the game. You know, we can go back and forth about some things that they didn't do right, but I don't care. No game is going to be perfect. They did what they needed to do, and they won this game. So I'm going to just move on to my whatever section. Okay, I'm going to be very careful here because a wise man once told me that you cannot accept anything in a win that you will not be willing to accept in a loss. I cannot accept the way that they do not manage the clock when they are winning. I can't accept it. I don't like it. I don't understand why it's so hard for us to manage the clock. It's going to end up costing us a game. You know why? Because it cost us last year. It cost us, I think, one or two games. One, obviously, Stanford. I think another game, the clock management cost us. We have to start learning how to manage the clock. I don't care if it's Shador that's messing it up. I don't care if it's Schumer that's messing it up. I don't care if it's Coach Prime that's messing it up. I don't care if it's another guy that's responsible and he's not doing his job. We cannot continue to not manage the clock properly when we are winning games, because I'm telling you, if we don't fix it, it is going to come back and cost us. I'm going to say whatever because we won the game, but that is concerning to me. So I'm just going to move on to the things that I hated. So the things that I hated, I could have said the thing that I just said, but whatever. So it's obvious: penalties, 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 penalties. Okay. That's what I don't like. I don't like the penalties. I don't like the penalties because it's undisciplined. Stop the undisciplined penalties. We have to stop with the penalties. You know what's weird? Every team is going to get penalties. I don't expect us to play perfect football. But there are some of the penalties where I'm like, what was that? Like, why did we do that? Can we stop with the penalties? I really hope that we can stop with the penalties, because as we get to the Big 12, there's going to be teams that don't have penalties as much as we do, and it's going to end up costing us games. Clock management, penalties, both of those things are undisciplined. We have to stop being undisciplined. I will say, though, I did like the celebration when Travis got the interception and ran it back and they were celebrating on the middle of the field. I know it's a 15-yard penalty. It's probably not the best penalty. You probably shouldn't have done it. I know, but I still kind of like the celebration. But penalties, penalties, penalties. Penalties can be a reason why we lose a game. Penalties can be a reason why we lose a game. So I hate them and I want them to stop. The other thing is Mata. What the F? What the actual F? How long is he going to be the kicker? Like, how many more times are we going to watch Mata miss field goals? I'm actually asking for a friend. Can somebody tell me how much longer we're going to watch Mata miss field goals? Because I don't want to see it anymore. I'm tired of it. Do we not have another option? What is going on with our field goal kicker? I need somebody to let me know. The other thing I'll say that is a random thing is I don't mind if Colorado wins ugly football games. You know why? I've said this 1,000 times. My Steelers win ugly football games. My Steelers didn't even score a touchdown and they won in the football game. Because at some point, the name of the game is to win, right? Like if the name of the game is to win and you're winning games, even if it's ugly, I can't get mad at that because that's the goal. I just want us to not do dumb things. I just want us to not do dumb things and manage the clock right. So this is going to be my only random for the day. I just want us to be better. And at the end of the day, we won the game. Colorado is 2-1. They play Baylor next week at home. It is their homecoming. I hope they take some of these things and use them next week. I know that Baylor's going to be ready to play. I know that they're going to come prepared, but I hope Colorado builds off of what they see. I hope when I go back and look at the box score that they at least got 100 yards rushing. I hope when I go look back at the box score, they started running the ball at the end of the game. I don't know, but I just hope that they did, because I hope that they can build on this and keep getting better. Keep progressing, keep getting better. Don't go back. Don't go back to the things that didn't work. Keep progressing, keep running the ball, keep doing all of these great things that you're doing. And don't be afraid to keep making these personnel changes. I don't mind personnel changes if it makes sense. I don't mind personnel changes if it makes sense. Also, I think Nikhil Hill Green might be a stud at linebacker. And if he's a stud at linebacker, you let him play linebacker, because he is clearly a difference maker over some of the linebackers that we have. So if I'm not crazy, because I haven't watched anything, this is a reaction right after the game. If I'm not crazy, I think he played an amazing game, and I hope that he becomes a starter, because he deserves it because he looks amazing out there. But as I do with all my videos, I'm going to end this here, as the next thing you're going to see is a sped up version of me talking about the things that are concerning me. The reason why I do it as a speed up version is because it's literally just me ranting about things that might not matter. And so I'm like, if it matters and I need to bring it up in another video, I will. But as of right now, these are just things I'm keeping an eye out on. So I leave it at the very end, like just in case, so I don't have to resurface it, just in case it's like a me thing and it's not a real thing, but it's just something that I'm keeping an eye out on. So I hope that you enjoy it.
So as we move forward, I've said it before, and I've harped on it, and I've harped on it, and harped on it. I am going to focus on how they manage the clock and some of the decisions they are making, because it's making me nervous. The other thing I'm starting to notice about Shador is, though he doesn't, his footwork seems off to me. Again, this could totally be a me thing. I could totally be overreacting. This could totally not be real. But the way he looks in the pocket, I don't know if it's because last game he kept getting hit, and so he was a little anxious in the pocket today. But I started to kind of notice he wasn't getting his feet set. Some of his throws looked a little off to me. He's usually extremely accurate. That is one thing he does extremely well. So I'm just gonna keep an eye out on that. Also, I'm going to keep an eye out on Travis Hunter. I know he left the game when he was injured. There's an offensive possession that he didn't play. So I don't know if it was just precautionary or he just didn't want to go in or whatever it was. I'm just going to keep an eye out on it, because for Travis Hunter to not be in the game when they've told us over and over and over he's going to play and he can play and he's going to get tired and all the things they're telling us, it's a little concerning when he's not out there and then I see somebody on the sideline is rubbing his shoulder. So just something I'm going to keep an eye out on. I don't, it probably means nothing, but I'm just saying it here. And the last thing is for the love of God, I hope that we figure out how to manage this clock, because if we don't figure out how to manage this clock and if we don't stop these penalties, they are going to cost us games. Mark my words, if we don't fix it. So at the end of the day, we won the game. As I said, North Dakota State video, I'll say it again here. A win is a win, and I'm moving on, and we are 2-1. And I don't have to have a terrible rant this week, and I don't have to be pissed off, and I don't have to be disappointed, because they met my expectations. And if you meet my expectations, I will give you credit for meeting my expectations. So thank you, Colorado, for meeting my expectations. I'll see you again next week.